continental United States contains just over 300 Indian reservations. Most of these sovereign tribal lands are found in the vast open spaces of the Midwest from the border of Mexico to the border of Canada.
These reservations, a lot of them are in such secluded areas. They are in unpopulated areas, areas where there's little to no manufacturing. They're in a lot of desert areas. And as a result of that, a lot of these reservations, they're left untouched, unrecognized, unsought after, and uncared for.
The quality of life on most reservations is comparable to that in developing nations like most of the countries in Africa, East Asia, and South America.
The average American, he has a job to go to every day. He has something to look forward to. They don't have a lifestyle that they have something to look forward to every day, like a job to go to. Because there's not any jobs there for them, for the most part, in their communities.
The people living on these reservations struggle with issues of malnutrition, poverty, and alcohol and drug abuse.
They wake up in the morning times, they have no hope that day. It's just another day to them. And because of that, they find themselves many times falling into alcoholism. And alcoholism is very rampant upon these reservations. I find a void in the lives of these people. First and foremost, the gospel void in their life. They don't have the gospel there. They don't have the peace of Jesus Christ in their life.
Missionary Gerry Locklear and his wife Cheryl, both members of the Lumbee tribe of eastern North Carolina, have surrendered to God's call to take the gospel to these reservations and to the over 500 recognized Native American tribes in the lower 48 states and in Alaska and Canada.
Less than 20% of these reservations have the gospel preached to them. I find that there's not a lot of missionaries, pastors, preachers that are willing to go to these areas and to minister to these. And sometimes we refer to them as these forgotten people. There's no glamour to these reservations or to these ministries. And so that was pretty sad. And the Lord don't call us into glamourity, if that's a word. He calls us to go to the highways and the byways and the hedges and to seek out these places and these people. And God has put a burden on our hearts to reveal to the world, as it were, the condition of these reservations.
Ordained in April of 2010, Brother Locklear has traveled across the country visiting reservations and working tirelessly to establish relationships with all Native American tribes.
In 1988, I made my first trip out west to one of the western reservations, and that was the Navajo reservation. I realized that there was no churches out there. There was no gospel-believing or Baptist churches on these reservations, and so my heart was burdened. The more trips my wife and I made out to different reservations, it was more apparent that there was no gospel works there. And so God has called us to all of these people. And so we're going and we're taking first and foremost the gospel of Jesus Christ to them. And then we're also working with other missionaries that are established there.
In 2006, with the help of his sending church, Brother Locklear formed the Native American Mission Fund Ministries. The fund helps establish and build Baptist churches on reservations.
I have very many successful stories that we could tell. One that I think about is the project on the Fort Hall Reservation in Blackfoot, Idaho. There was a huge fertilizer plant that was taken down by volunteers to go out and work. And as that plant came down, then we turn around and build a church in its place. We're trying to, as it were, build a relationship between the churches, the true churches that know God, and the reservations. We would like to come to the point that we could find a need on these reservations, take that need back to the church, and introduce the need to the church, and ask them would they be willing to take this mission project on as a church project.
The fund also helps missionaries already preaching the gospel on reservations.
We currently have 9 missionaries that we're supporting through this mission fund, whether it's by means of supplying him with Bibles, material, teaching material, Bible school material, or if he needs a church built, we build a church for him.
Amen.
I'm a member of the Lumbee tribe, and our people embraced the gospel hundreds of years ago. And as a result of that, I was born and raised in a Christian home.
34 years ago, Brother Locklear received Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior.
And at the age of 23, God saved me at the Gospel Tabernacle Baptist Church. And that was August the 10th, 1980. I was under conviction for several weeks, and so it was just during that time, I was just heavily burdened. God had revealed to me my lost condition, and I was just under a heavy burden. And that Sunday that I went to church, I had my mind made up, you know, that this was the day. And you're right, it was as if the heavens opened and the Shekinah glory of God came down and filled my heart.
Brother Locklear plans to share his testimony with every Native American tribe he visits and can foster a relationship with.
My goal is to reach all of these Native American reservations and Native American tribes. These natives, they're typically of a lost person. That lost person is not searching after God. God comes searching after them, like He came searching after me. We as Christians, we should go out searching after them as lost people and taking the gospel of Christ to them.